Greetings and welcome to MentorMe Memorable Moments. I am your host, Tracy Everette.
And I'm your co-host, William Craig III.
And we want to welcome 150 nations
And all of these United States.
to MentorMe Memorable Moments. You're probably viewing us through listenvisionlive.com or mentorme411.com. So welcome.
Yes, indeed.
Tonight is our mental
Mental health
program. You know, we always need mental health tips and things. So this time we're going to talk about take time to do you. Create your home spa-like experience. So what are we talking about with that?
We're talking about something that's near and dear to your heart.
You don't think men have spa-like experiences?
Almost definitely. We definitely have spa-like experiences. We don't call them
That's
that.
right. Okay, so what do you call them?
We call them me time. We call them man cave time.
Okay, yeah, I can dig that.
Yeah,
Man cave.
But
yeah.
it's near and dear to your heart because you had an episode.
Yeah, I did. I did have an episode. I do too much, you know, and I
No,
don't know when
not
to
you.
stop.
Oh, no. Oh, revelation knowledge.
Oh boy, but yes, so you know it had me thinking that I need to do me, and if I need to do me, I know that there are some people out there too that need to do you.
Indeed.
So we're going to talk about that spa-like experience. How can you create a spa-like experience right there in your home?
Okay.
Changing your lifestyle.
And leading up to it, you're going to give us some reasons why we need to have that spa-like experience.
You know I am. So look, let's go ahead to the first slide. And we're talking about pressure coming down on me. You've heard the song. And you know what? You probably feel the pressure too, whether it is from, you know, family obligations or what's going on at work. It's just too much sometimes. And as you can see, we're in that world where we're always and constantly saying, oh my gosh, like I can't take this anymore.
It happens. And sometimes it's because we have such a good heart. And I had a conversation earlier today about that, where we just can't say no.
That's right.
And eventually we run out of room.
Yes.
And then there's no time for us.
That's right. And I think we did a program on that, saying no, learning how to say no. Well, you know, we have that pressure going on, and we have different tools that we use. We think they're doing good. You know, we'll exercise with the little bicycles at the desk, you know, to try and keep us, you know, regulated. Or we'll have those stress balls, as we saw in the little clip.
Right. And Dion brought something for us a few weeks back.
That's right. But one thing that, you know, that we have been constant with throughout the seasons that we've been on WLVS radio was to help you breathe. You know, you've got to breathe sometimes, because sometimes oxygen is really not getting to the brain as much as it should. So before we even continue on with this segment, let's just stop for a moment and breathe, because this is going to be necessary. So we learned that we breathe from the diaphragm.
Right. In through the nostrils, from the diaphragm.
Fill up that tummy.
There you go.
And then we blow out through the mouth. So let's do that together.
Gradually.
Breathe in.
And it even feels good.
I can feel my body just resting, just floating down, and the air or the breath getting to the brain so that I'm able to focus now. I can hear what you're saying. You can hear what I'm saying.
Yes. It's relaxing.
So, yes, it is. And so I want us to stay at that tempo throughout the rest of the program. The first half is going to talk about how to get rid of that pressure and create that lovely environment at home. And then the second half, Felicia Jameson, our certified healing coach, is going to talk to us about expanding that a little bit more. You know, hanging around with the right people, doing the right things. Okay.
Very
so
good.
Let's take a look at that next slide, please. Again, work, family, responsibilities. So it's important. Have you checked your blood pressure lately?
And this is so important. Doctors today suggest that in addition to having the thermometer in the cabinet, that you also have a blood pressure cup.
Yes, that's
and
right.
Most of us don't have one.
How many of you out there have one? Right by my bed.
Put a one in the chat box.
Okay. I put a one in the chat box. Love it.
But yeah, most of us don't have one, and it's a simple thing to learn how to do. And if we did that, it could probably help us better understand how our bodies are reacting to the stresses of life.
Because we learned over the past few seasons that, when we're asleep, of course, the body's resting. Depends.
Well,
If the
yeah,
mind is
yeah,
active.
already.
And we
You're
are both
good.
have active brains going on, constantly thinking. But when you awaken in the morning, they say most of the heart attacks occur right there. When you step to get out of that bed, between your bed and the bathroom is when you suffer those
on
heart
Monday
attacks.
mornings, by the
Monday
way.
mornings, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, so we need you to breathe. And we need you to check your blood pressure. So let's look at what your blood pressure ranges should look like. Next slide, please.
Great.
Okay, so the top number, systolic, should be below 120. The bottom number should be below 80, and that's a normal blood pressure. How many of us have that today? I don't even think that we see many of that in our children today.
And let me just say, the systolic and the diastolic levels have changed actually over the years. I think in the past 3 years, they've actually changed. And so what they were telling us years ago was a normal range has now changed. And so these are things, once again, you have to be mindful of.
Right. And so then looking at the pre-hypertension, possibly 120 to 139, and the lower range being 80 to 89. You have hypertension stage 1 when you're between 140, 159, or 90 to 99 for that lower number. And anything over 160 on the top and 100 at the bottom is hypertension. Oh, my gosh.
And so, again, like I say, back in the day, they told us like 120 over 80 was decent. And now we see that actually we want that top number, the systolic number, to be below 120, and we want the diastolic to be below 80. And that's one of the big changes. And most of you, if you are to check your blood pressure, I would be willing to bet a nickel that most of you guys are in the pre-hypertension to the stage 1 hypertension range.
Exactly. And you want to know why? Take a look at the footnote. He said, okay, these ranges may be lower for children and teenagers, but if you also have heart disease, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, or certain other conditions, you may need to treat your blood pressure more aggressively. And so in order to do that, we've got to maintain a healthy lifestyle to prevent or delay the onset of high blood pressure or any other kind of health problem.
Right.
These illnesses factor into high blood pressure.
And what you want to
readings.
remember is it talks here about healthy lifestyle. And folks, what typically happens when you go to a doctor, typically, is that they want to put you on medication. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice. But what I would say is take a look at your lifestyle. Take a look at your eating habits, your sleeping habits. If you're not sleeping well, if you're not getting more than 6 hours sleep, and I'm guilty of that myself. And for whatever reason, I don't believe, my body just doesn't believe it needs more than 6 hours sleep. But constantly they're saying that we do. And so if you're not getting more than 6 hours sleep, if you're not eating healthy meals, did I say healthy meals?
Yes, you did.
I didn't just say meals. Healthy meals. If you're not eating healthy meals, if you're not relaxing at a regular time every night, your schedule's up here, it's down there, it's across. If you don't have a regular schedule, if you have high stress at home and at work.
That's right.
And on the highway in between home and work.
I'm about to say that, yes.
So, all of these things can factor into high blood pressure. And I would suggest that you look at that before taking any medication at all. Because and why? Because the medication comes with side effects, quite honestly.
Right. That's right.
They all do.
Well, you got to partner with your doctor, your physician. And like you said, these articles at one time said 120.
Right.
And now they're changing because of all the other diseases that are compiled in the body and are affected in the blood pressure reading. You've got to really take control of you and partner with your doctor. Don't take everything that they say, as golden. Yeah, they are the physicians. Some of them graduated with a C average, you may have that doctor.
Yeah.
Not to disrespect the field or anything, but this is my body.
Right.
And I know my body. And I know when my body is getting weak and it needs some attention. And so when I go to my physician, I'm having a conversation with my physician. I'm asking, why are you changing these meds? You
Right.
know, this is what it does to me. And I don't like that. So let's find something else. You know, it's not just a one deal or one way discussion.
Sure.
No, I'm partnering with my doctor to better my health, and I want you to partner with your doctor to do the same.
And one of the things that even Matthew Lesko was talking about in the show previous to ours was that sometimes information changes.
Yes.
And so your doctor may be giving you advice based on old information.
That's right.
Honestly, a lot of them are so busy, they don't attend the conferences that talk about the new studies. They
That's
don't read
right.
the journals that talk about the new studies. They may get, information here and there, but for many of them, unfortunately, they don't stay abreast of the latest and greatest information. So
Right.
though they are well-meaning, and though, it may have worked 15, 20 years ago,
That's right.
that's not where we are today.
That's right. So you have to read too. All right.
Indeed.
Next slide, please. So then what can I do, William, to relieve this pressure?
Okay, now if I'm looking at these pictures, it looks like end it all. just
Don't
shoot
give
me
up.
and get it over with.
Don't give up. There is a response.
I don't think that's the signal you wanted to send
No.
there. Right?
Next slide, please. Here are several ways that you can create an environment in your home that will greet you when you open the door, that will give you that spa-like experience.
Okay.
So the first thing is you've got to select a room, a private room, a room you can call your own. If it's the man cave,
Right.
then that's it. That's your room. Ladies, if it's the bathroom, or you have a little sewing area or a little room that you can create a spa out of, then choose that room. You want to paint that room a peaceful color, and you want to put things up that visualizes your future, your happiness, things that you can look at, stare at, that are surrounding you. Some people say the color red is abrasive and it seems angry. But if that's your color and it gives you peace and strength, then that's the color that you should paint your room, or at least a wall in that room. You know, some people don't like blue.
Right, or pink.
Or anything like that.
Right.
So you've got to choose a color that's going to be right for you and that's going to bring you comfort, okay? And that's going to stimulate the happy thoughts in you. Then we also want to look at the lighting. You know, do you want dim lighting? Do you want natural lighting? Do you want ceiling lighting? What kind of lighting do you want? You want to decide this because you want to have a fresh look at things. If it's natural lighting,
Right.
you want to throw those curtains back or bamboo shutters or whatever, and begin to look outside and see all the greenery and hear the birds and smell the grass and the flowers, things like that. So you want to decide what kind of lighting that you want, anything that's from dim to ceiling lighting or natural light that you can throw up in a window and look at. You also want to declutter.
Okay.
Declutter that house. You know,
Yes.
people say that clutter represents what's going on in
it
your
does.
body and your head.
And I got to tell you, I am standing up on the inside because about a week or so ago, I went through and I decluttered.
Okay.
I decluttered the house. And let me just tell you, it is such a joy coming home now because it was something I put off.
Okay.
And but I went through in all of the piles.
Yes.
And then the piles on top of the piles, got rid of them. We went to a shred day.
Okay.
Took about eight big those lawn trash bags full of shred material, and I got to tell you, I am just so happy.
So what did
really
it do to
makes
the body,
a
to the
difference.
brain?
It just totally, it does eliminate a certain degree of stress.
It does. It really
It
does.
really does.
Just a little bit of what I decluttered and got rid of. Oh my goodness. It was like, whew. I can really feel a difference. So declutter because you want to set up an ambiance in your home where you can either scream and yell or get rid of all the things that are stressing you. Just create a nice environment.
And
So declutter.
start one room at a time.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
try
yes.
and do it all. But within I guess I'd say 2 days, I went from room to room, and got it all done. And so, like I said, I'm a happy camper.
I
Right now.
know that's right. Well, let's look at plants. I'm not good at growing things.
Okay.
They have to operate on their own. I'll remember to bring you some water, but you have got to do it yourself. So we want to look at plants, ferns and ivy and lavender, things like that have that scent that rejuvenates you and that brings you that peace and relaxation. You want a scent that welcomes you when you walk in the front door. I remember about a year ago, I was with Dr. Michelle, and we were in Greenbelt, and we visited one of her friends who had a what do you call it? Holistic business. And when I walked through the front door, in the foyer were plants and scents, and it was like they grabbed me and said, "Welcome, we've been waiting for you to come." And every room that we stepped in, there was a different scent to give a different response in the body. That's how you want your home to be. When you walk through the door, you want your home to welcome you with those spices and scents and things that bring you pleasure and make you feel really alive after a tiring day.
And remember, plants give off oxygen.
Yes.
And so when you have a lot of plants growing in, they're taking in the carbon dioxide and they're trading you and giving you oxygen.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that helps you as well.
That's right. And so you also want to look at having a comfortable chair. Do you have a comfortable chair?
I know. And this actually, when was it? Yesterday, I made note to self. I need a more comfortable chair. I put pillows in the chair to try and make it. See, I have a walk-in closet.
Okay.
And so that's the room, if you will,
Okay,
that
all
I've
right.
transformed for me.
The war closet.
And
the
it
war room.
It is my war room.
Oh, that's right.
But that was one of the things that I made note of. I sit in the chair so long working at the computer, of course, and I said, I need a better chair.
Yep, that's what you want.
So now it's time.
So one that reclines, or you get a pillow, or you put your feet up on an ottoman, just something that your body can just relax from all that tension and stress from the day. Get a good chair. Get a storage area in that room as well. So if you've got something that's pushing out the fragrance that you'd like and it's battery operated and all of a sudden it stops and you're sitting in a nice mode, you don't want to get up looking for batteries all throughout the house. You want to have them right there in a little plastic storage or drawer or something. Right. So you don't want any distractions when you're in that room. You want to have a few minutes, to wind down, and you don't want to be distracted, and then you're back in that mode again. Okay, right. So you want to have your favorite things, your music, your beverages, whatever that beverage may be. You want to have that beverage.
See,
with
if I
you.
had enough room, I've got so much stuff in there. I don't have room for a little cooler, but nonetheless. It's comfortable and it is organized.
I'll bring my tea or I'll bring my wine. It depends on what kind of day I had. And then you want aromatherapy, and that's your oils and your candles and your plant extracts to promote a good, healthy body, mind, and spirit. So those are the things that you want to do to set up your room. So what are some of these rooms like that, that people have established? The next slide, please. So when we're looking at establishing your spa-like room, look at this.
Wow.
I mean, I love the one at the top left with the plants and the candles. I love that.
That is very nice.
Nice, and it's like it's welcoming me in. Just the right temperature, the right lighting, or you can go over far to the right, and maybe this is how you relax. Just wait right there. That's how you relax.
And you have the science, if you will, of all of this in feng shui.
Yes.
There are those who believe that there is a natural order to things.
Yes.
And that through feng shui you can arrange your room, actually your whole house, but certainly your room in a way in which it brings you peace naturally.
Right. Exactly.
And that's important. If that's something that you're into, definitely, or you're interested in, look into it, because at the end of the day, if you can arrange the furniture in such a way that it actually flows
Yes.
better for you, then you want to do that.
That's right. That's right. Next slide, please. And so these are some of the rooms that have different colors. Like I said, I don't like white walls. I feel like I'm
Institutionalized.
yes. I don't want any white walls in my house. But your spa-like experience, that special room in your home can be any one of those colors or any color that you dream of.
Yeah.
It's not the traditional white or blue anymore. It's what makes you happy. So, William, in wrapping this up, there are 3 things that I want you and everyone else to
Okay.
remember. Next slide, please. I want you to stop.
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 Okay.
That's right. Take note of how you are feeling right now. That means breathe so that your head, your brain, your mind is clear.
Okay.
I want you to get your blood pressure test done this week. No
Yes.
excuses.
You know what? I'm going to do that.
Yes.
I'm going to do it.
Okay.
In fact, I wish I had gone to the health fair that I was supposed to go to yesterday.
Okay,
now.
see?
Yeah, it's coming back to haunt me now.
Okay. Or buy your own blood pressure cup. Keep it
Definitely.
next to the bed. You know, that's a great place to keep it. And then create a sanctuary, spa-like experience in your
folks, look,
home.
you know, I know we've got 150 nations watching us, but here in the United States, we've got a chain of stores where you can buy things at $1, you know, or less sometimes. My point here is it doesn't have to cost a fortune.
No, it doesn't.
You can go out and for $10, $20 get things that are going to help provide
That's right.
an atmosphere or create an atmosphere that is relaxing for you. So don't think you have to go out here and spend a lot of money.
Oh, no, we're not
to
talking
make
about
this
major
happen.
projects, building things on homes, and no.
Because when we look at those pictures, certainly we say, well, you know,
I can't do that.
Not this week anyway.
Right.
Okay?
It's going to grow on you. It's going to grow. It's a what do they call it? A project that continues in life. It's something like that they use. Project managers use that. Okay. But anyway, you know what? We've got a second half where Felicia Jameson,
goodness.
our certified healing coach, is going to take us a little bit further than this. But for right
Okay.
now, let's introduce you to Felicia Jameson. Thanks for I'm waiting for
Yeah,
us.
I'm right here.
We know you're there.
Hello.
Breathe, Felicia, breathe.
Well, come on, girl, take us home.
So, am I live? You ready for me?
Oh,
We're
yes,
ready
we
for
are.
You. You are live.
Cappuccino moment. I have so enjoyed this first segment. I was in here taking my deep breaths. My blood pressure runs 110 over 70.
You go,
Okay.
I do have a blood pressure cuff here. And I just want to also say, just to segue and get this started, that elevated blood pressure is really a gateway to other diseases, and you were touching on that. But I just wanted to touch on that one more minute, that it is so important to get that under control because it can begin to affect the kidneys, your eyes, all of those things. And just getting that under control just cuts out a lot of other diseases. But tonight I want to talk about cappuccino moment.
I can't wait.
And you see the slide with the cup of love,
Yes.
just making your own peace, making time for yourself. And you mentioned learning when to say no. And the key thing about saying no is it begins to set boundaries for your life, boundaries for what you will do and for what you won't do, what you will not do. So you need those boundaries really to keep yourself healthy, to not overwork yourself, to not overload yourself, and then that's when all the stress comes. And a peaceful mind is a powerful mind.
Right,
so we
that's a
need
good
that
one,
peaceful
sweet.
Oh, I
mind.
like that. Say that again. A
A
peaceful
peaceful
mind.
mind is a powerful mind.
Tweet that.
Because we have to know that with a peaceful mind, that is the springboard of where we go into our purpose, where we make decisions. So we need that peaceful mind. And even, when the scriptures, when God says, Jesus said, keep your mind stayed on me,
That's
and I'll
right.
keep you in perfect peace.
That's
So we
right.
need that peaceful mind. And so Cappuccino Moment is just about creating peaceful moments for yourself and knowing how valuable you are. Because even for the mothers and fathers out there, they're doing things for the kids, they're taking them to soccer practice, they're doing homework, but what are you doing for yourself? If you don't do something to create peace and healing for yourself, then really you're not strong enough for your children. You don't have the mind that you need for yourself or for your child. I want to go to the next slide. And I want to talk about thoughts that you should explore. And I think that two of the greatest emotions is either love or fear. And with fear, you need to know what your biggest fear is and conquer that. Because when you conquer fear, what's left is love. And when that love is there, that also is that springboard to help you love yourself, love your children, succeed in what you're doing, and just to find the path that you need when we are not, when we are filled with fear, it just blocks everything. The next thought is, why is self-care important? You just had the slides up about creating that home spa. And self-care is important because it includes everything. It includes your mind, your body, and your spirit. And when do you need to relax? Some people need to start a morning off peaceful so that they can feel better. Some people need that relaxation more in the evening. So you need to know, when is it that you need to relax?
So let me ask you this, Felicia. Let's say somebody, they are just so out of their high strung. They don't even know what their perfect time of day is to relax, to be able to answer that question. So how can you help them be able to pin it down to, I'm a morning relaxer, I'm an evening relaxer, or I'm a nighttime relaxer?
So, we all have met some of those people, like they're just high strung and they're like the Energizer Bunny, and they're just going, and really, a lot of times it's a fear connected to that. They're afraid to stop. If I stop, oh my God. They're afraid to look at something. They're afraid to really get real with themselves. So the best thing I could say to that person is, when is it less people or demands on you? If you just cannot stop, when is the less demanding time that other people are pulling from you? And I would pull from that. For myself, you spoke earlier, Tracy, about knowing yourself, knowing when your body feels okay, when my body is not feeling okay. So I can tell for myself when I'm feeling stressed. And I think, I might get up, it sounds weird, but I might get up an hour and a half earlier than my normal time, just so that I can just calm it down, do some healthy thinking, do something for myself, go to the gym, and I have a whole different perspective. Or it may be, I've had a really tough day, and I say, we're going to the gym this evening, we're going to go relax, I might go out and get me a coffee. I'll decide. So that's why I'm saying, when do you need to relax? And that's making a person really be in touch with themselves to know themselves. And I hope that answered that question.
Yeah, and I like what you said, because it really ties back to the very first question you asked, too. When you have that A-type personality that's always going and going, And you mentioned about it being tied to fear. And so the very first question you have is, what's your biggest fear? And too many
Right.
people don't even address that.
don't.
And so they're going and doing things because of the fear. And because they never conquer the fear, they can never slow down. They can never stop and relax.
Exactly. You got it. Exactly. Another thought to explore is, what are your safe social events?
Now, what does
And the
that mean?
reason I'm going to explain.
Okay.
Some people will go out socially and looking for love in all the wrong places. They are going out to social events where if you're just going to a bar and hanging out, you're not drawing the right people to your life. I'm not saying anything's wrong with the bar, but that cannot be your only social event if you're going to go out and hang out at a bar where people are just drinking and getting loud and getting drunk. Find things that you have in common with other people. Even when you're on Facebook and it'll say events near you, you can start to find events that are similar to some of the interests that you have. I've even seen things in there about jazz, going to listening to jazz, and you can link into a link that will start to let you know when these jazz events are near your area. So just encouraging people to think about socially, what are you doing?
Right.
Are you around like-minded people? Make a plan to succeed and be around good people.
So I want to interject and say this. That one and the first one about fear, it's possible that people have things that are rooted. They don't know why they behave the way that they do.
True.
They don't know why they go to
Right.
the bars and they hang around with the people that are drinking. They don't know what their greatest fears are. They just know that they're behaving this way. So to that person, I know you are the healing coach. So I want you to be
Yes.
able to tell them that their behavior, it can be helped. You don't want to behave that way. You're trying to figure out how to get out of behaving that way, but you don't even know what's wrong,
Right.
So talk to them to let them know that there is help.
Yeah, there is help. And there is, when you start to connect with people who celebrate you, you can feel it when you meet somebody and there's just that click there. You feel something. You can almost finish each other's sentences. You start to meet people who are progressive. I remember once I had a pastor that said, look for people who have done things a step ahead of you. Those are people, you've accomplished something that I haven't. I can learn from you. I can grow from you. Connect to healthy situations, to healthy people. Again, you're not just wanting to go somewhere and it's like, I just want to get picked up for the night kind of thing. No. For me, I really enjoy coffee houses. I have a lot of coffee houses around the Carolinas that I love to go to because I find some of the people in there are just interesting, great conversation, it's safe. It's just a different mindset of people that are there because the alcohol is not there. Alcohol is a mind and mood altering drug.
Yes, it is.
A lot of people don't think that, but it is.
Sure.
Yes, it
And
is.
so you're with people who are altered when you're at that bar. With coffee, we might get a little extra energy, but, you are not in an altered mental state.
Right. You're not out
And
of
so
control.
I just,
Right.
but you're not out of control and doing things that are not respectful or nice. And so you want to be in places that are respectful, where you grow, where you're with people of like mind. And I even think about, remember Charlie Sheen, when his mind was really messed up, and he would just go, winning, winning. It was like, I think about that sometimes. He knew that he was not, but he was being positive somewhere in the midst of all this
Yes.
chaos.
Yes.
Like saying, I'm still going to win. I'm still a winner. I'm winning.
Right.
Yes.
And, because I would look at that and go, why is he saying winning when it looks like he's so losing? But somewhere in his life, he knew he needed to speak good things. And I think that we need to remember that about ourselves as we think through life, is to say good things about ourselves. And the other thing on the slide of thoughts, I'm calling that, is why is it important to clear your calendar for yourself? Number one, you're the only person that can do that. You ever met people that says, I haven't had a vacation in 2 years, and you're looking at them like, what? I haven't had a vacation in 2 years.
For Tracy, that means looking in the mirror.
And it's like, no, you have to clear your calendar. You have to make time for you. And if you don't clear it, when you're that Energizer bunny we were talking about, those people really need to clear the calendar and say, hey, I'm going to have some me time. I'm going to do something for myself. That's very important. Tracy is laughing so hard. Okay.
Two things. It's great when you can laugh at yourself. But two things. Number one, one thing that I did want to say about the safe place is that you have to be mindful not to put yourself in, though it may be quote unquote safe, that it's not more competitive. And that's one of the problems with the whole stressful lifestyle, is that people quote unquote find themselves relaxing to go, let's say, bowling or tennis, but now they're so competitive, they gotta win, that it's not relaxing anymore.
They can't even enjoy it. Exactly.
They
can't even
enjoy
what was meant to be. Right.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
And then the last piece is, I heard someone say this recently, and I thought it was so important, that we have to learn how to celebrate better. It's not always about perfection, but if I can just look and say, I've gotten better, guess what?
Right.
Let's celebrate that. Because as they used to say in the church, I'm not what I used to be, I'm not what I want to be, but thank God I'm not what I used to be, right? And that's their way of saying, let's celebrate better. And that will take you to another state as well.
Right. I agree.
And for some people, it might be, I didn't tell somebody else today. Let me celebrate
that's right.
that.
I didn't
That's
cuss
right.
you out.
I didn't lose my
I didn't
temper.
cuss somebody out.
Yes,
I didn't
indeed.
act out. Celebrate. I'm going to go to the next slide. And here is this beautiful spa time, and I'm calling it intentional self-care. And again, I'm saying intentional because you have to intend on making moments for yourself. This spa is actually in the mountains of North Carolina, and just walking into this room, it's like your breathing changed. You felt the water was flowing. Those ceramic chaise lounge there, they were heated. So when you laid your towel up there, it was like you could feel heat going to your back and relaxing your back. And for me, and deeper into the picture, you can see the water flowing there. Just the sound of flowing water calms me very much. And, no phone, no email, no Facebook, no social media, but to really unplug and get into that self-care time. And in my book on page 44, and Rain on Your Face, I do a writing about intentional actions. And, when you're being intentional, and I'm going to turn to that. Okay. It is done in a way that is planned or intended, deliberate, and done by design. So that's a definition of intentional. You are deliberately, by design, saying, I am going to relax.
Yeah, I like that.
I am going to go somewhere and take care of myself. I am going to design what my time away looks like. And there have been some studies showing that people that live longer is because they said that they had things to look forward to. There was this 109-year-old woman that I saw, and she was still driving a car and all, and I was like, what in the world? And she said that she had a bridge game, and they would come over and help her clean the car, and they would just drive around the block and go get something to eat. and she had all of these older friends, and she said that she really believes that it was because she had something to look forward to. So when you begin to be intentional and setting up these spa times, and, guys can go to the spa and get the massage and do all those things. Some of them get a little funny about the mani-pedi, but you can do that too, you know. You just don't have to get your nails painted, but you can go, William. You can go.
I do.
So,
I do.
yeah, and don't you feel great after you do that? You feel better. You just, kind of taking some time.
I can rub my
for
feet
yourself.
together and not scratch my leg, you know?
Exactly. and for the men out there, please go, because your lady, we don't want to feel that husky heel like Brillo pad on you. Exactly. So that spa time, that intentional self-care is just so important, just to clear your head and feel better. Next slide, please.
And I love that, because too often we rely on the random acts of kindness, and what happens is the random acts are too far in between.
That's right. That's right.
All right. So, after a spa day, you get your glow back.
Yes.
You're eating well. William, you talked about sleeping well. And when you sleep, it is so important, because as a nurse, I know, and I can just remember reading it in textbook, that the body repairs itself while you sleep.
Yes, it does.
So you need that sleep. So and sometimes you sleep longer than you thought, and you think, oh my God, what time is it? But then I don't feel guilty, because I say, you needed that, Felicia.
Right.
Your body needed that. You didn't know you needed that. And, for people out there listening to us, if you see your spouse sleeping in, give them that time.
That's right. Leave them alone.
Leave them alone. I mean, it could be a good thing for you, because as they're resting and repairing and getting that stress off of them, then when they approach you or the things that you have to deal with, they're going to have a better rested mind.
Right.
And see, that's really key, because if you're stressed, you don't think clear or logically.
That's right.
And, you'll start doing, you ever done something and you go, what did I put that over there? Because you're so tired, and you start, some people call it, you get a little loopy, you get a little silly, things that you normally would have done, the one way, you put things in the wrong place, and it's because you're stressed, and you're just not logical or thinking clearly.
That's right.
So you need that spa day.
This is good.
Lower that blood pressure, release that anxiety, and with that wellness, with that good mental health, the other thing about that is that you're going to draw healthy people.
That's right.
And healthy situations to you. So it's just really important, because when all that stress is gone and you think clearly, your radar, your sensing, your discernment is even sharper. So that's a good positive of being rested and getting your glow back with your spa day. I want to read something from my book. The next slide, you see, let's read Cappuccino Moment. And I'm actually going to read the writing that I did in my book about Cappuccino Moment.
Okay.
If you enjoy coffee, today's message will really be an eye-opener. Remember, I shared I have a coffee shop I go to every week, and I enjoy the relaxed, carefree environment. People are reading and on their computer or chatting with friends over warm, aromatic cups of coffee. They even serve hot herbal teas, little biscuits, sandwiches, and Belgian waffles. I make this my cappuccino moment alone, and I treat myself to this moment to unwind. I feel peaceful and enjoy a moment that I don't have to cook a meal. Recently, I had a friend that shared her sad feelings that her boyfriend did not like taking her for coffee, and he hated paying for her coffee, and he felt she should just brew it at home. I watched her eyes light up as she explained why she loved going to grab a coffee out, even if it cost $4 or $5. She didn't have to explain it to me, because I already knew. It just makes her happy. I continued to listen to her explain her love of coffee, and watching her big smile and her eyes filled with delight This relationship with her boyfriend was over, and there were several other rude behaviors he had displayed to her. And I finally said to her, I know the exact reason why he hated buying you the coffee. You don't even have a moment to get that cup of cappuccino. So now I will share with you the explanation that I gave her. He clearly saw that coffee made her happy and peaceful inside, and he hated something so simple could evoke this deep happiness inside of her and cause her to display that warm smile she had. When a person is mentally healthy, they get joy from seeing you happy. They love sharing the simple joys of life with you. To be abundantly clear, abusive people are manipulative, self-centered, and want to control everything. If they find out that something makes you happy, they're coming after it. Abusive people are very weak-minded people and fearful, and they act pushy and loud, but inside they are hurting people.
Yes.
Somewhere inside their childhood, something hurt them, and they know exactly what they are doing. This darkness glooms over them like a plague in the desert. The words that they speak come from this gloomy place. So now they are a full-grown adult being a mean bully, attempting to manipulate you, denying you of the simple pleasures of life. Unfortunately, this behavior does not stop at the denial of a cup of cappuccino. This behavior drifts slowly and deeply into every move you make and every desire and decision you make. This is the dark negative force that you must remove yourself from and seek clear paths of healing and happiness. And I hope you will have many cappuccino moments and inner reflections to stay emotionally happy. Oh, guess what? My friend has agreed to go with me to my favorite coffee shop, and I will show her how to make her own cappuccino moment.
Cappuccino moment.
Very nice.
So that was a true conversation I had with a young lady who her boyfriend just didn't even want to take her to get a cup of coffee. I'm like, girl, as much as you love coffee, you know this guy is not for you. Again,
That's
when
right.
people love you,
So we went
they want to
from-
make you happy.
Wow,
That could
Felicia.
have been their...
We went from you want your cup of coffee, so get rid of him.
Like, you don't need this guy. Anybody that cannot appreciate a latte, chai tea, that could not be the person in my life. It's like, I have my little tea or my coffee, great conversation. Those things
Right.
make you relax.
That's
But see,
right.
And so,
what I really appreciated about what you said in there was that someone who is whole inside can connect with the thing that makes you whole inside.
yes.
And so
Yes.
it's clear that if there's something that makes me whole inside and you can't get with that, then this isn't going to work.
Right. That's right.
Right. And honestly, I had a friend named Wanda that I go to church with. She posted sipping a Starbucks latte that her husband had bought by the job, and she was under the caption. It was like, look what babe just bought me. You know, because he knows that makes his wife happy. She was
Yes.
under some stress.
Right.
He had his break. He went over and took my girl coffee. I was
Okay.
like, oh, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So, you know, knowing what makes that person happy,
Indeed.
what makes their stress go down, you know, so those things are important. Next slide, please. Coffee on the beach in Aruba.
All righty.
That was a day, let me explain that day. Oh, my God. This was an intentional trip. This was some intentional action. I practiced what I preach, okay? This picture was about 2 years after my divorce. And I had set everything up because we still had to do equitable distribution. And when that was done, I already had the day planned, the trip planned. I said, I'm going to a place I've never been. to get ready to start and feel what my new life is going to feel like, because everything was completely over.
Look at you.
All the legal papers were over. I didn't have to look at another lawyer. And I got on the plane, and I decided for myself, I don't use the D word. I'm single.
Okay.
I don't focus on the D word. The D word is divorce. I don't focus on it.
Right.
So I was intentionally telling myself how I would present myself to the world. And people said, "Oh, are you alone?" I said, "Yes, I'm single." "Oh, you're by yourself?" I said, No. I'm here for R&R. Please don't feel sorry for me. I had already called that hotel and scheduled spa treatments. I had already...
You found out where the local Starbucks was?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, what happened was when I arrived to the island and they were taking me to my hotel, they were so proud. They said, that's the first Starbucks on the island. I said, wow, and look at it right by my hotel. Can you believe in this? And so the hotel I stayed at had a private island, and that's where I'm standing. You would get on a little boat, and they would just, shuttle you over to their island.
Right.
And the only people on that island was the people staying at that hotel.
Right.
I thought it was just the most fabulous thing. So I got up, got my little Starbucks breakfast, got on the boat, let them shuttle me over to the other side of that island, just out there by myself, reading, relaxing, walking in the ocean. They had a couple of little restaurants on this little island. This picture represents what intentional actions look like. When you are intentional about your relaxation, about making your cappuccino moments, about making moments for yourself to heal. It was just the most, and even on that time, during that time, they had like a music concert, and my kids in Jamaica were like, what do you, I said, Google is a powerful thing, honey. I had Googled, found everything, and you can be safe when you travel alone. I don't like staying in a place where the door is on the outside. I like to walk through a lobby where people see me and I feel safe. But there's nothing wrong with traveling alone.
Well, Felicia, this is great. We've got less than a minute to wrap this show up, but you have your book that you want everyone to be made aware of. Yes. Can you give us the information on that?
Yes, so you can go to FeliciaJamison.com or Amazon.com, and you can purchase that book. And the picture that we have there is from one of our viewers in Jamaica. So shout out to our viewers in Jamaica. And she sent that picture having her cappuccino moment. And one last thing I want to get in is the slide with Dr. Sonia Stribling. She is a certified divorce coach and counselor. You can connect with her on Facebook. And she has some of the most wonderful topics. So don't feel like you can't reach out to people to get help. It's Dr. Sonia Stribling. And you can see the things there that she talks about. How to know he's not the one. 16 things not to do before marriage. How to know if you are the side chick. My God.
Okay.
And, and even things for men, things for single moms. She is an anointed, godly woman, and just a powerful teacher. You can just go to her site and hear the things that she's recorded to help yourself and to be better. Okay. So she is a dynamic woman.
Okay, we got to go. We got the slide.
Love you guys.
Put it up there again. But we want to thank everybody.
See you next month.
Okay. We want to thank everybody for tuning in to us. There's Felicia's information that you can contact her on social media. Yes. And we're going to be back next week, William, with financial health. That is me, and I'm bringing a guest with me. All right. And also, I think I'm going to give you the night off. It's Daddy's Day.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so until then, be safe, be smart, be healthy. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Nothing to the beat of a drum and you don't hear and you can't see. So if I look off beat to you, well, the problem must be you, not me. Irregular and never